Discover the latest health tips, expert advice, and inspiring stories. This is the Health Channel Podcast. Your journey to better health starts now.
When it comes to sports, be it high school, college, or pro, everybody is looking for that competitive edge. Now, for years, athletes have been using both legal and illegal substances to boost and or enhance their performance. From supplements and protein shakes to anabolic steroids and stimulants. Dr. Madeline Camejo, Chief Pharmacy Officer at Baptist Health, and Dr. Brandon Welch, a clinical sports wellness coordinator at Baptist Health, are standing by to help separate fact from fiction, as well as answer any of your questions on this episode of Ask the Doc. Hello, everybody. I'm Kathy Buccio, and welcome to Ask the Doc, the show where we encourage our viewers to send in their health questions. And today's first question comes from Mikey, who just reached out to us through our website, allhealthtv.com. And Mikey's question is, hey, doctors, I'm a rookie middle linebacker at one of the universities in South Florida, and I have a protein shake and supplements, but I just heard from the team trainer that I should spread out my protein intake throughout the day to help with muscle recovery and growth. Is there any truth to this? Doctors, and I'm saying doctors plural, I've heard this too. Where do you guys stand on this?
So Mickey, that's a great question. Timing can vary depending on individual goals. But the most common advice is to take protein supplements shortly after a workout to make sure that you support muscle recovery and growth. Now, having a protein before a workout can also be useful, especially if you're on your last meal with several hours earlier. Now, this can provide a steady release of amino acids during your workout, which might help with performance and muscle maintenance. But ultimately, the best time for you to take protein depends on your personal schedule, goals, and dietary preferences. Now, Dr. Welch, any particular form of protein you would recommend, bar versus liquid?
Hey, these are great questions. They both have their pros and cons. And so the biggest advantage with the protein bars is the convenience. So protein bars are portable, they're easy to carry, and they make them a great option for an on-the-go or busy schedule. The advantage of the liquid protein is if you are someone who's very weight conscious and you're trying to maximize your daily protein amounts while minimizing the excess daily consumption of carbs, this would be a great option for you. Also, the liquid can also contribute to your daily fluid intake, which is beneficial for hydration. Ultimately, both protein bars and liquid protein could be great options. The best choice will depend on your specific needs, preferences, and lifestyle.
Thank you. Now, heads up, docs, we've got a real interesting YouTube question from Harvey. And Harvey asks, hey, my boy Scooter plays football for his high school team. So he lifts weight, and I noticed he's taking something called creatine. Isn't that a steroid? And if so, he's probably creating a problem for himself, right? Okay, intentional or not. I love a good wordplay, so I see what you did there, Harvey. But seriously, creatine isn't an anabolic steroid, is it, doctors?
Hi, Harvey. Thanks for reaching out with your question. Love that you're so concerned about your son. So the good news is you're absolutely right. Creatine is not an anabolic steroid, though it does provide an anabolic response to muscle and muscle building. So creatine is one of the most researched supplements and is generally considered safe and effective for increasing muscle mass, strength, improving brain function, and high-intensity exercise performance. But Brandon, what would you recommend on dosing? I know you see a lot of athletes in your clinic.
Of course, Dr. Camejo. So I typically recommend limiting the dose to less than 5 grams per day because anything over this amount can cause, unfortunately, the drawback of stomach upset and oftentimes bloating. Maintaining proper hydration is going to be essential as creatine pulls water from your bloodstream to build up muscle after exercise. If you don't hydrate yourself properly, creatine can't provide your muscles with the power and energy it needs to build muscle.
Thank you. Now, I got to say, before we move on to our next question, how fantastic is Ask the Doc? We got, Dr. Welch, Dr. Camejo, these dynamic duo getting to answer all your questions firsthand. I love it. I just had to put that out there. But speaking of questions, we have another one. This one's from Akira, who asks, hello, doctors. I run track at school and recently sprained my ankle. I've been applying ice to the area and getting treated by the trainer. which helps, but sometimes I have these flare-ups that make it hard for me to stand for long periods of time. I'm thinking of taking over-the-counter painkillers, but I'm not sure which one I should take for the pain and inflammation. This is a great question because I never know which type of pain reliever I should take for headaches or maybe sore muscles after a good game of pickleball. So, Dr. Camejo, what do you say?
I say, Kathy, this is a great question. It is. Akira, thanks for reaching out. But the first thing we want to understand is that Aleve, also known as ibuprofen, and Advil known as ibuprofen, and Aleve is known as naproxen, belongs to a class called NSAIDs, which stands for non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, and this decreases inflammation and pain. While Tylenol, also acetaminophen, simply blocks the signal of pain, which is more acute. So Tylenol is more effective for mild pain without inflammation, such as headaches, general aches and pains that aren't related to swelling or significant injury. Now, Advil and Aleve are best used for sports injury where inflammation is present, such as sprains or muscle injuries. So it often helps use that reduce swelling, pain, and stiffness. A lot of people don't know, but sometimes Tylenol and Advil work very well together. It's called a dual action therapy. So you can take like 400 milligrams of ibuprofen and 325 milligram of Tylenol. Now, Dr. Welch, what other recommendations would you give Akira here?
So yeah, to piggyback off of what you just said, so Tylenol taken at higher strengths, anywhere between 600 to 800 milligrams, could have a mild anti-inflammatory effect and may be a good substitute for Aleve or Advil if one is experiencing stomach discomfort from it, as this can sometimes, unfortunately, be a side effect for some people. It's often recommended when taking an anti-inflammatory to consider an acid reducer like Pepcid or Zantac over the counter to help protect the stomach. Some additional advice to help better nurse the injury. So at night, ice the ankle before sleep and elevate the injury with a wedge-shaped pillow while sleeping. Keeping the ankle wrapped while you're working out for support is key until it's completely healed. Lastly, soaking your ankle in some warm Epsom salt bath can relax the muscles to help alleviate some of that sharp pain.
Thank you, Dr. Welch, with great information. So this next one comes to us from Sharona, Instagram question of the day. Hello, Drs. Camejo and Welch. My daughter Mia plays soccer at school just like her mama did. The school provides the team with some of those electrolyte sports drinks. Are they really better than plain old H2O for helping kids stay hydrated? Another good question. Let's keep them coming. So what about it? Do we see the fancy sports drinks. Do they really work, or maybe is it just good marketing?
So that's a great question, Sharona, and I'm going to bicycle kick this one to my partner here, Dr. Welch.
So yeah, again, great question. So both electrolytes and plain water play important roles in hydration during exercise, but their necessity honestly depends on the intensity and duration of the activity. So when we think of plain water, for most moderate exercise sessions lasting less than 1 hour, plain water is usually sufficient to stay well hydrated. It helps maintain fluid balance and supports overall bodily functions. So when we think about electrolytes, they are best for more intense or prolonged exercise. So anything over an hour, especially in hot and humid conditions. You may benefit from electrolyte replenishing drinks. Electrolyte drinks that contain sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium can help replace the minerals lost through sweat and are crucial for maintaining fluid balance, muscle function, and preventing some of those muscle cramps. In short, moderate workouts, plain water is generally adequate. And for extended, intense workouts, we want to think about electrolyte drinks or solutions can help maintain balance and performance. It's also important to listen to your body and adjust based on your own personal needs and experiences.
Thank you, Dr. Welch. Okay, we've got another YouTube question. This time it's from Claudio. And Claudio asks, ¿Qué tal, Dr. Camejo? I'm a former professional athlete who still runs daily. I hate to say it, but I have to accept the fact that I'm getting older and need to start thinking about my bone health. Having said that, what nutrients should I focus on to reduce my risk of stress fracture? All right, Claudio, getting older is inevitable. We just have to deal with it and keep powering through, but never losing sight of our health, of course. So, Doc 1, Doc 2, what else should Claudio be eating and drinking?
So, Claudia, thanks for writing in and for watching the show. But to reduce risk of stress fracture. Focusing on a well-rounded diet that supports bone health and overall musculoskeletal integrity is key. Now, choosing nutrition-rich meals and snacks will not only give athletes the fuel they need to perform, but will also help ensure that their bones stay strong. Now, look at for foods like that are rich in protein, which is key for bone building. This is important for muscle repair, for bone health, like good lean meats, poultry, any chicken, turkey, fish, eggs, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Those are all great proteins to eat. Potassium, banana, white or lima beans, spinach, lentils, all are good sources of potassium. Magnesium is also very good for the body and performance. It's found in whole grains, almonds, cashews, spinach, legumes, even Raisin Bran. It's a great cereal that has a lot of stuff. And if you want to choose a few healthy snacks, then look at like strawberries and almonds with a vitamin D fortified load yogurt, a yogurt parfait with mixed fruits and granola. Make some scrambled eggs with spinach and cheese on a whole wheat tortilla, Raisin Bran, like I talked before, and even peanut butter sandwich on a whole grain sandwich thin is great. But Dr. Welch, I know you have some other key nutrients. What are some of the other recommendations from an athlete perspective would you recommend?
So here are what I call my star 5 essential nutrients to pay attention to. So my first one is calcium. Calcium is essential for bone strength and density. Good sources could include dairy products like milk, cheese, yogurt, your yummy leafy green vegetables that we all like, kale, bok choy, or even thinking of our fortified plant-based milk. Almonds, soy milk, and certain fish, sardines, salmons with bones could also be some good options of calcium. Next, vitamin D. Vitamin D is crucial when we think of maximizing the absorption of calcium, and it's great for bone health. These sources can include some of your fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, some of our fortified foods, orange juice, cereals, and sunlight exposure. Supplements can sometimes be considered a great option if you have limited sunlight exposure. Next, phosphorus is very key. This works with calcium to build and maintain bones, often found in dairy products, meats, fish, nuts, and legumes. Next are omega-3 essential fatty acids. While not directly linked to bone density, omega-3s can help reduce inflammation and support overall joint and bone health. Sources can include fatty fish again, salmon, sardines, our flax seeds, and walnuts.
Thank you, Dr. Welch. And Dr. Camejo, I'm writing down some of those snack options. Those are great to have written down and use as reference. Thank you for sharing those. Now, we got a really great, interesting Facebook question here. It's from Butch, and he wants to know, hey, Doc, I play Division III baseball for a local college. A frenemy of mine, who shall remain nameless, suggested that I take a certain supplement. I can never tell if he has my best interest at heart. So how can I tell if a supplement is safe and legal for sports? Okay. Dr. Welch, is a great question. There's a little bit of drama here. I'm here for it. And I think Butch needs to also drop this frenemy. But let's talk about how we can tell if supplements are safe and are legal for sports.
So absolutely, Kathy. And this is a question I get very commonly in the sports medicine practice. Making sure we're looking for third-party testing certification seals on the labels of supplement bottles is going to be key to determine if a product is considered safe. Example of safety labels could include what's called NSF Certified for Sport, Informed Sport, or Banned Substance Controlled Group, which has the acronym of BSCG. These organizations go through very rigorous testing process to test supplements for banned substances and ensure that what's on the label is actually accurate. I also always recommend speaking with a healthcare professional and understand your league's policy to ensure you are taking supplements that are not on the banned substance list. Organizations like the United States Anti-Doping Agency, also known as USADA, and the World Anti-Doping Agency, also known as WADA, can be a great general resource to start.
Thank you for that info, Dr. Welch. Now, Dr. Camejo, looks like we got another question from the gram. This time it's from Kalani, who asks, hi, doctors. My daughter, Ivy, is a scholar athlete who, in addition to taking advanced AP courses, is captain of her school's field hockey team. Unfortunately, she's not a great sleeper. Now, I'd like to know, how does sleep quality impact athletic performance and recovery? Now, it sounds like Ivy may be running for president in a few years. So We know that sleep is sort of the foundation of it all. So let's talk about how important it is for good sleep for an athlete, Dr. Camejo.
And Kathy, you might be right. I think that it's a great question. Kalani, thanks for writing in. Now, I would say sleep quality is crucial for athletic performance and recovery, and it really impacts several key aspects of physical health. So just to name a few, for muscle repair during deep sleep stages, the body really releases growth hormones, which plays a significant role in muscle repair and growth. Quality sleep also helps regulate inflammation, which can reduce muscle soreness and aid in a quicker recovery. Good sleep improves coordination, reaction time, and overall athletic performance. We know how important this is, especially for you being the captain of the field hockey team. And adequate sleep also strengthens the immune system, which reduces the risk of illness and injuries. So overall, reducing the risk of overused injuries, proper rest helps prevent that. Overused injuries by allowing the body to recover fully between training sessions. Now, Brandon, would you be recommending any other to improve quality? What are some of the things you would actually recommend as well?
So consistency is going to be key. Our body likes routine. So we want to aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night and maintain a consistent sleep schedule if we can. Having a good sleep environment is going to be important. Create a sleep-friendly environment by keeping your room cool, dark, and quiet. Next, developing a pre-sleep routine, establishing some type of relaxing pre-sleep routine, avoiding screens or stimulating activities close to bedtime. Add some white noise, some relaxing music for 30 minutes prior to sleep while you're laying in bed. Also, sometimes I recommend doing some mindful meditation. Anything to help relax and calm down the body prior to going to sleep is going to be key. In summary, prioritizing good sleep can significantly enhance athletic performance, recovery, and overall mental well-being.
Dr. Welch, can we add one more in there for your pre-sleep routine? How important is it to turn off those devices?
Oh, it's very important. We cannot be a slave to those devices at night. I know we love looking at that blue screen, but at some point we got to shut it off. And so, especially when it comes to allowing our minds to wind down and not always being overactive, let's just turn off those screens and those phones if we can.
I think that's a great rule of thumb for everyone, not just athletes as well. Thank you, Dr. Welch. Okay, this next question is from Dusty, who reached out to us on allhealthtv.com. You should really check the website out when you get the chance. I am telling you, it is chock full of great information. You do not want to miss it. So let's get to Dusty's question. Doctors Camejo and Welch, I'm thinking about going into sports medicine. I'm wondering if athletes can safely use stimulants or energy boosting supplements without risking their health. Sounds like a little loaded question here, Doc. What are your thoughts?
So excellent question, Dusty, and we appreciate you writing in. Now, athletes often seek stimulants and energy boosting supplements to enhance their performance, but safety and efficacy are key considerations. So here is my approach and recommendation to your questions. First, always consult a healthcare professional before starting any supplement, especially a stimulant. It's wise to consult with a health provider to ensure it's appropriate for your individual health and status. Now, start with low dosages. Begin with the lowest effective dose to assess tolerance and avoid adverse effects. Now, I always recommend starting this in the off season so you don't see how you respond to starting a stimulant or an energy boosting supplement. Now, check for banned substances, just like Brandon had discussed earlier. Athletes competing at any level should verify that supplements do not contain banned substances, as many sports organizations have really strict anti-doping regulations. Brandon, anything else you would look for?
So yeah, we always want to watch out for side effects, right? And this is why when we're starting anything new, stimulants or any type of energy enhancing supplement, again, start it during the off season is going to be preferred, just in case if you have some of these potential side effects, such as insomnia, jitterness, increased heart rate, or gastrointestinal or stomach issues. Adjust or discontinue use if these side effects unfortunately occur. Quality and purity is going to be important. So you know how we talked a little bit earlier, making sure that the supplements are third-party tested. Choose supplements from reputable brands that test for purity and quality Contamination with banned substances or harmful additives can pose risks. Now, we always have to think about the long-term health repercussions sometimes of taking some of these stimulants or energy-enhancing boosters. So relying heavily on stimulants and energy supplements might mask underlying issues like poor sleep, poor nutrition, or overtraining. A balanced diet, proper rest, and a well-structured training program should be the foundation of athletic performance. While some stimulants and energy boosting supplements can be used safely and effectively, they should be used judiciously and not as a substitute for fundamental aspects of health and training. Always, always, always consider individual health needs and consult with a healthcare professional.
And Amelia asks, my child Josh is one of the sports teams at school. Although full disclosure, he's more of an athlete than a student. I've noticed him taking different supplements as he gets ready for school. My question is, what are the risks of combining multiple supplements, and how can we ensure he is doing so safely? Madeline, this is a really fantastic question.
And Kathy, this is a great question, and kudos to Amelia for keeping an eye on Josh. But combining multiple supplements can be risky and safe depending on how it's done. So, for example, combining a supplement with similar effects can lead to exaggerated effects, so which may increase the risk of adverse reactions such as high blood pressure or anxiety. Some supplements might interfere with each other's absorption or effectiveness. For example, high doses of calcium might interfere with absorption of magnesium and other minerals. So overconsumption of certain vitamins or minerals can also lead to toxicity. Too much vitamin A also causes liver damage, and even excessive iron can lead to gastrointestinal issues and other health problems. But Dr. Welch, what would be the best practice recommendations that you could give Josh here?
So yeah, here are my top 3 best safe practices when we're considering combining supplements. Always read labels carefully. Check for any overlaps. So examine the labels of all supplements to avoid excessive intake of any ingredients and ensure that there are no harmful interactions. Start slowly is going to be key. Introduce this gradually. So begin with one supplement and monitor its effects before adding another. This helps to identify any adverse reactions and understand how each supplement may affect you. Lastly, consult a professional. Healthcare providers can be your best friend. So before combining supplements, seek advice from a healthcare provider to ensure that the combination is appropriate for your individual health needs and goals. If you're shopping at a local grocery store that has a pharmacy, it may be great practice to stop by the pharmacy and ask your local pharmacist. Combining supplements can be beneficial if done thoughtfully and with proper guidance. The key here to safe use is to be mindful of potential risk, consult with a healthcare professional, and monitor your body's response.
Thank you, Dr. Welch. We have time for one more question before we are out. Doctors, this is from Oz. He reached out via Facebook. What are the potential side effects of the long-term use of certain sports performance enhancers?
So long-term use of sports performance enhancers, such as anabolic steroids, stimulants, or other similar substances, can have various side effects. The risk and impacts can vary based on the substance used, dosage, and individual health factors. Some potential side effects associated with long-term use can increase your risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, elevated heart rate, higher risk of blood clots, and pain and swelling in joints and muscles. It's important for athletes and individuals considering performance enhancers to weigh these risks very carefully and consult with healthcare professionals for advice tailored for their personal health and performance goals.
Fantastic information. Thank you so much. Anything you would like to add, Dr. Camejo?
No, I think it's important, if you're going to do that, to make sure you always talk to your professional provider. Make sure that you're getting the right questions. Don't try to do this on your own. It's really important that you want to manage potential side effects from long-term use of certain medications or enhancers.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts before we wrap to share with our audience? Dr. Welch, I'll let you take that one.
I think
So-
I think we covered a lot of information today. And, it's really important at the end of the day, always talk to a pharmacist. If you're not sure what kind of supplements, what kind of things, pharmacists have a wealth of information. It's really important, and that don't go on this alone. They're great sources of information for you to be able to enhance your performance.
Thank you so much to both of you. That's all the time that we have for today. I'm Camejo, and I'll see you next time on Ask the Doc.
Thank you for listening to the Health Channel podcast. We hope this information has been useful. However, please remember that only your doctor can advise you about what is best for you. Do not start, modify, or suspend treatment based on anything you have heard on this podcast. Please join us again soon.